Hey, it's Mike from Guitar World and Music Radar, and we are here with Alan Nabassi of Fender, who's going to take us through all the new additions to the Player Series. Alan Nabassi, the last thing we expected was the return of the lead.
I know, it's kind of came out of the backfield, right? But so these are the leads, the lead 2 and 3. They're kind of not strict reissues in the sense, and I'll explain that in a little bit. The leads were guitars that were released in the late 70s, early 80s, at a time when Fender was trying to reach out and find new players to get into the fold. They were also competing with a lot of companies from overseas that were making super high quality guitars. And they wanted to release something that was a Strat-like object that was less expensive than a Stratocaster at the time. And thus the leads were born. So the first model, the lead 1, was actually a single humbucker model. What we chose to do were the lead 2s and 3s, which are double pickup models. Obviously the most interesting thing is this unique double cutaway shape. Strat-like in appearance, but a little smaller, a little bit more symmetrical horns, very comfortable to play. That's probably why a lot of beginners like these models, is because they're a little smaller, easier to navigate. The old models actually had super skinny necks. What we've done here, since these are in the Player Series, is we've taken like true reissue bodies and put Player Series necks on them. Okay. So this is actually a modern C, which is like everybody's favorite default neck shape. Modern C with medium jumbo frets, a 9.5-inch radius. But you will notice that we've got the correct reissue logos on the headstocks and the correct 70s style tuners. Nice. These are kind of made during a transition period where a lot of different parts are being used to build guitars. But these are just very fun to play. They've all got Player Series pickups, so these are 2 Player Series Strat pickups that sound wonderful, chimey and warm and bell-like in quality.
But the switching, tell us about the switching. Those are some big switches.
Yes, these are really interesting switches. Again, we wanted to do as close to a reissue as we could without nailing it 100%, and so we maintain these giant toggle switches. There's 2 switches on each model, and they do something different on each model. So the first switch on each model is a pickup selector, so you can get the bridge, both pickups on, or the neck, which is a standard switch. And the second switch does something different on each guitar. This is actually on the single coil lead 2. It's a 2-position switch that allows you to get in or out of phase sounds when both pickups are on in the middle position. So you can get in phase or out of phase. On the double humbucker model, which I'll grab right behind me, the second switch is, again, it's a 3-way switch to select bridge, both, or neck pickups. And then the second switch here is a 3-position switch on the lead 3. And if the switch is all the way down, it splits the bridge into a single coil. If the switch is in the middle, it's full humbuckers. And if the switch is up, it switches the neck into a single coil. So it splits the humbuckers depending on if it's up or down.
I have a Fernandez with that very switching arrangement.
Do you?
Oh, fascinating, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's really fun and versatile because on a double humbucker model, to be able to get single coil sounds and then mix in a humbucker and a single coil
You've also got
together.
like presets.
Exactly, yeah. So these are just kind of very, all hardtails too, no trems. Yeah. That's one of the reasons they were able to make it less expensive than a Strat. They used hardtails. You'll notice that all the electronics, including the output jack, are mounted to the guard, so you can just plop the guard right in. That allowed Fender to sell these for about $100 less than the Strat at the time, which I think was $500, and these were $400. But they were kind of a very unique Fender thing at the time. I think Steve Morse was one of the great guitarists who was an endorser in the ads for these. And all sorts of guys, even Eric Clapton, have had these in their hands. And we saw a lot of artists recently playing some of these, and you know that things always come back around. Yeah, exactly. And things always come back around and become hip again after a certain amount of time. And we thought this is the perfect time to release these. So they're part of the Player Series. And this is now, the new entry level for Fender. The lead 2 and 3. Very fun, awesome guitars. Again, with the Player Series pickups that Tim Shaw helped us design, tone is like second to none. And actually, we can walk over there and plug in and show you what they sound like.
Yeah, let's do just that. But before we do,
yes,
there are some other additions to the Player Series.
There is, yes.
Let's have a stroll.
So these were once called part of the Offset series.
Yes.
Basically, these are Duosonics, Mustangs, Mustang basses. We stopped making Mustangs for a small period there, and first of all, we didn't really normally make a heck of a lot of Mustang models in the last couple decades. They were just kind of here and there. Then we stopped making them completely, and almost every other week we were getting calls at the home office about, are you guys never making the Mustang again? What happened to the Mustang? Help, what happened? And we said, don't worry, we didn't discontinue them forever. And then when we released the Offset series, everyone gave us a big fat Fender hug and said thank you, and they became instantly popular. So again, what these are Mustangs, Duosonics, and Mustang basses, and we have some modified versions as well. We've moved them into the Player series, so they still have all these beautiful Player series necks with satin backs, medium jumbo frets, 9.5-inch radius, and then they have uniquely voiced pickups for each model. And we did kind of homages to the originals, so the Duosonic has a slanted neck pickup and single coils here, but we also did kind of a souped up HS version of the Duosonic.
So that returns from the Offset series.
Exactly, and it's got a push-pull pot to split the humbucker. Nice. We did a Mustang that has true Mustang pickups that are both slanted, and we decided to do a Mustang 90 with our MP90 pickups. They sound great. They all have a great satin back on the neck. And of course, we reissued Mustang basses. These seem to be really, really popular these days. Yeah. And we added a jazz pickup here for versatility, which I think bass players really enjoy. The short scale on a bass, a Mustang bass just has a really cool kind of EQ that sits really well in a mix, and it has a very bold kind of direct signal, and people really love that. Yeah. Also, they're a little bit smaller to play. They're all shorter scale. Even the guitars are short scale, so it's easier for beginner to navigate around the body, kind of like the leads. So they're not just fun. I mean, everyone from beginners to pros love them because the tone and feel is different, but it's also a little easier to navigate when they're a little bit smaller. So what's new for the Player series here is that they got a new color for every single SKU in the whole series. So every single color of every model is brand new. So you've got, for instance, on the Duosonic, classic desert sand with a gold guard. Yeah. But we're doing some other fun stuff, seafoam green. Tide Pool is a color that we already had in the Player series. So every model has 3 new colors, which is really fun.
Pickups wise, are these the same as the Offset line?
Yes,
okay.
Same pickups. Cool. They sounded so good, we were trying to tweak them and we couldn't even make them better. So we said, let's just keep the pickups the same.
Awesome. Thanks very much. Well, let's go and hear them. We'll make a really swift, slick cut here and head over there.
All right.
And now we're going to hear some tones from the lead 3. So Alan, what we're going to start off with here?
Well, Rick's got the lead 3 in brand new purple metallic color. I'm going to have him play full humbucker, and then we'll get some split coil sounds so you can hear what that's like. So let's start on the bridge. And keep in mind, these are Player Series Alnico humbucking pickups. So just to mention, Rick's playing through a deluxe reverb tone master, and we're using the direct out. So these beautiful tones are actually direct from that amp. Let's switch to the neck pickup and split the humbucker into a single coil, and let's hear that. And then finally, let's do split the bridge humbucker, and then put the switch in the middle so you have both pickups on. So you've got bridge single coil and neck humbucker. Great, so as you can see, a lot of versatility out of the switching there.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks very much, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.